What's going on, everybody? We're out here in South Florida. I brought the R6 out with me, and we're going to take a look at the zero gravity sport touring windscreen on a 2007 Yamaha R6. I got the polycarb windscreen with me. We're going to do a quick comparison to see if it meets my expectations and hopefully if it meets yours. So let's go. Now you can see here, right now I got the zero gravity windscreen on, and if I put this over it, you can see it's not that big of a difference, but it is a little taller and it narrows down a bit. You can also see, you can barely see through this thing. I don't know if you can barely see through it compared to that. You can really see in there. Yeah, let's go for a ride. I'm gonna keep the music off this time. I gotta get some gas, man. But anyway, let's talk about the sport touring windscreen. And I think it has the same concept for any sport bike. I'm sure there are some decent differences, but let's get out of this garage. Man, it's humid, man. Alright, so installation, super simple, as you'll see in the overlay here. Super simple installation. Keep in mind that you will need the rubber grommets. So don't damage those and don't throw them out. The screen, it does not come supplied with replacement grommets. Alright, so that's one. So with the zero gravity windscreen, there's a couple advantages and disadvantages with this. Start with the pros. The good thing is these are acrylic plastic. So it's going to be different from your polycarb. It's going to be different. So with acrylic plastic, you're going to notice that the clarity is going to be at a high level clarity. So you'll be able to see through it, no problem, no hazing, no discoloring. You know, those things you won't have to worry about like you will with the polycarbs. Polycarb plastic. Another good thing with acrylic plastic is when it comes to scratches. Right, scratches, they buff out of these things with acrylic plastic. You can buff it out if it does get scratched or scuffed. Versus the polycarbonate, not so much. Now another thing with these windscreens, with this one in particular, the sport touring one, my reason for getting this was I wanted a more comfortable experience on my commute to work. Because I get a nice ride going to work. So I wanted a better comfortable experience. So I figure if I get a slightly taller windscreen, that wind noise, that wind buffeting would be off of my head, off my chest. You know? And I don't know, it gets the job done, but it doesn't. And I'll tell you why. So, how the windscreen is currently positioned, right? It's definitely positioned and angled so that the wind is off of my chest. So I could definitely tell the difference there. The wind is definitely off my chest, right? But I don't know if you can see from my eye level, the edge of this windscreen is pointing like literally straight at my head. So if anything, riding the R6 straight up, you're getting a more how do you say, the wind is going actually more directly to your head. I mean, you can give it a little tuck and it'll fly over you, but You can't ride this thing straight up. You got to give it a little tuck to get that wind off you. And you'll notice compared to the other one, to the OEM windscreen, it was a little wider. This is a little more narrow. Slightly narrow. But I will say, I do like the branding. The branding is dope. It has a little race look to your bike, you know? The zero gravity branding on there. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. And then the smoke, that smoke look, I like it. I mean, you can see directly through that. You can see directly through that. From afar, it looks dark. It looks dark, but when you come up close to it, you know, you can see straight through it. Very clear, I will say. Now, caution, zero gravity does note that these things, they can shatter. Acrylic plastic does have the capacity to shatter. So a rock or a pebble, if something strikes it head on, they say it actually will shatter. Which is one of the cons to these things. Which is one of the cons. With the polycarbs, those things could take a beating, man. I mean, as you can see, I mean, the one I had, it cracked a little bit on the edge, but yeah, they could really take a beating in terms of rocks and pebbles and stuff hitting it. So, I mean, that's one of the things you'll be sacrificing, but I haven't had any problems with shattering or any rocks hitting it. I don't know. Maybe in a different environment might experience that, but not me. Another thing zero gravity yeah, cool down my bike a little bit, man. Another thing zero gravity cautions is direct heat. Some people's gauge cluster has been melting. If you go on their website, you'll see they got some examples of how it could melt if you park your bike in direct sunlight. And it sort of does like a, if you ever take a magnifying glass and put it in the sun, it has that type of effect to it. So I don't know how that works. I haven't had any trouble with that. But yeah, I like it. It's nice. The Sport Touring windscreen still gives it that nice racy look. You know? Still gives it a racy look, but yet have it a little taller. I like the design, the concept. I like what they got going there. It's cool. I mean, it's just not tall enough, honestly. But you still want to keep the look, so I guess, you know, this is the best you can do. If you make it any taller, the R6 is going to look crazy. It's not going to look like an R6 anymore. So I see where they were going with it, but yeah. But anyway, if you got a zero gravity windscreen, comment below with your thoughts. You know, I know a lot of people, they get the double bubble. That's one of the best sellers, but hey, perfect. Let me know. Until next time.